What's up, guys? Now let's introduce Web API architectural styles, and we'll also go into why this is such an important design consideration. So, let's introduce this. APIs can take several forms, right? More often than not, developers opt for REST, so about 90% of developers have adopted this style. But after looking at the requirements, developers have other options. We'll discuss the architectural styles for APIs and how they differ from each other. We'll discuss which architectural style is suitable for which use case. So, what is an architectural style? An architectural style defines the rules and protocols to be used when creating our APIs. They're large scale standard methods through which the system's processes are designed. Conforming to an architectural style is more efficient than defining our own solution from scratch. Styles are similar to design patterns because they provide a template on top of which we build our API. They're different constraints, right? So they're API consumers, so that could be a constraint. A business preference and the purpose of an API will kind of factor in when choosing an architectural style. Choosing an architectural style has long lasting effects across the entire development timeline, so it's pretty difficult to change the style later in the development process. So, let's talk about characteristics of an architectural style. So we need to evaluate the characteristics that define our design problem. Each style serves as a template with constraints, and we have to see which suits our API best. Here are some properties we want to consider. So there's obviously performance, so choosing an API to perform well and not become a bottleneck with a large influx of requests. Scalability, so opt for an API to be easily scalable, such as adding more features and capacity for our backend servers. Ease of development, developers can choose a simple and familiar style to implement a solution. Portability is the ability to move an API architectural style from one software environment to another. So is it easy to deploy on different machines? That'll be portability. There's also software maintenance support, so the ample support offered by the API providers. And modifiability is when you opt for an API architectural style to have versioning capabilities without complications. So each architectural style will implement these elements to various degrees. About which objectives are priority. Our choice should be carefully deliberated, no right answer here. Developers choose essential properties that their API should have, and there's no free lunch. It's about trading off one aspect for another. So, let's talk about the various API architectural styles. So, we'll consider three commonly used architectural styles. The first one being REST. So REST is the representational state transfer, and it's the most popular architectural style. Industrial practices for REST rely heavily on the HTTP protocol. It's easy to understand, use, and manage. Its familiarity and simplicity are its greatest strengths, and it may struggle in the event driven environments, but it performs well when scaling. Then we have RPC, which is Remote Procedure Call. It's the earliest form of API, and it was developed in the 1980s. It works widely on JSON and XML formats. There are two types of RPCs: gRPC, which is developed by Google, general purpose RPC, RPC-based APIs using protocol buffers for serialization. SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol. It uses XML, stricter rules about encoding, structuring messages, and handling requests. And it's built in error handling, and it's considered obsolete today. And we also have GraphQL. It's a query language specification for APIs. It was developed by Facebook in 2012, and it was developed to overcome shortcomings of REST. and GitHub and Yelp use GraphQL over REST. So we'll discuss all these different architectural styles coming up. So let's sort of do an overview of this section, right? So we'll discuss the 3 design choices, advantages and disadvantages, and different APIs require different styles since there's no singular answer for all the design needs. Developers need to examine which style conforms to their idea the most and take pros and cons into consideration. So let's do a quick quiz. Is GraphQL a type of RPC? As you can see, or as we discussed, GraphQL is its own architectural style. RPC is its own architectural style, so the answer is B, no. And true or false, REST shouldn't be chosen for every API, even though it's the most popular amongst developers. This is definitely true because, REST does struggle in event-driven environments, so it isn't the right answer all the time. And last question, true or false, the performance characteristic refers to the style's ability to move from one environment to another. And this is false because that is portability. If a style is easily portable, it means you can move it to different environments easily. And so the answer is B, false. So hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.